Volvo, people ask me. I've run this Volvo 740 for 5 years, 20 races. I bought it as a cheapo race car because I used to race for Volvo. 5 great years, we won a championship and all these races, and so I had to run a Volvo, and I've always thought they were cool. Well, it started out as a cheapo $500 racer, and I worried sometimes, well, many times it didn't even finish the race. And yet now, it's a whole new car. It's like the caterpillars turned into a butterfly. I mean, it's so much better looking. It's been redone from end to end. It's got a wrap. It's got new OMPC. It's got complete suspension. And it's been totally rewired. A lot of the work on the Volvo has just been to like clean it up. And the wiring was so pitiful. I mean, it was like Methuselah's hair. I was worried it might start a fire, right? In worst case scenario, most of the time I was worried it just wouldn't even start, period. And Frank pulled 28 pounds of wire out of this Volvo, left it down to just the essentials, and this is the guy that did it. I partnered up with Frank. The deal was, look, you work on the car, in return you can race it. Frank, Resinetti? He's Italian, Resinetti, I should know this. Frank has been a pro crew chief his whole life. Team Corvette, Team Viper, Panos. He goes all the way back to GTP cars, old folks, you remember those. Frank, welcome to the team. It's been great partnering with you. Now, why did you want to work on my old Volvo?
Well, you brought it to me for one.
Yeah, it wasn't running.
And you said if I worked on it, I could race it. And I got to race it a couple times. And it ended up being here probably more than it was at your house. Okay.
It was a solid year.
Yeah. And part of what I did has to do with just life circumstances. My wife passed away over a year ago while the Volvo was here. And she made me promise to make myself happy, do what makes you happy. And building race cars has always made me happy. And I just kind of threw myself into it. Probably a lot of it was therapy, I don't know. I just started doing, and like everything else I do, I got carried away.
I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. You're welcome, Randy. And I'm looking forward to taking it to the track and seeing how she'll do it.
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, this car is so much better than it ever was before. And you've done a lot of work. You know, we got to kind of sort of shake it down.
Yeah, it's got to be shaken down.
First time out. It's a whole new car.
And the whole thing. Yeah.
The caterpillar turned into the butterfly. Let's go load this thing up and
Sounds
hit the road.
good. Okay.
Okay, it's track day morning, and we're at the firm, Florida International Rally and Motorsports Park outside of Gainesville, Florida, and we got a chance to drive just a little bit last night. Really thankful to the guys at the firm for giving us a couple laps, and I saw something going on with the boost that didn't look right. So this morning, we've got the wastegate actuator off the Volvo, and we're putting in a new spring, and the most important thing is we're realigning the whole actuator mount and the rod and everything to make the boost control more accurate. And then we're going to go out and see what we got. Make the Moose better and better. Did you change something a lot?
Yes.
Figure something out?
Yeah, and I want you to see what I see right now.
Oh, great.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
Yeah.
See the clearance there?
Yeah.
That's good. But it's cranked, and that's how the hole got torn in the boot.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I think we need to do is this mount that has the slots on it.
Yeah.
We need to turn it
Further.
so that the shaft more or less stays where it's at, and it's in the center of that hole. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take this point here and move it up to there.
Yes.
Okay. Let me get a 13.
We have issues with the alignment of the wastegator actuator. It was actually rubbing. We can see marks on it here. And I could see it in the way the boost was behaving. The boost builds real slowly, which means the wastegate didn't stay closed long enough. And then it goes too much boost and comes down because this is rubbing. And we're trying to find a better place for it. You want to do that or me? You got it?
I don't want to take your job away.
Actually, that's your job.
Actually,
That's your lane.
oh.
All right. The Volvo's been all refreshed by Frank, but some parts aren't even made anymore. This car is a 1990. That's 30 years, people. And it's a Volvo. If it was a Chevy, we could go down and get it. So the issue is this turbo boost actuator rod. It's an aftermarket called a Mamba that's a universal and perfectly fine piece, but doesn't quite fit right. It's rubbing on some, so there's an oil line underneath the turbo, and then we actually had it offset, and what that rubbing did was make the actuator slow to open, so boost built really slowly, and then it didn't level off in the right place. So we've moved things around as much as we can. We're using the adjustments built into the piece to try to get that actuator rod to run free and not bind. We're about to go out again and see what we got. Everything else is working great.